Welcome to your August tarot reading, Pisces. I don't know what to make of this spread. My eye is drawn to that devil card, which leads to the outcome. I've somehow got the feeling that that's the wrong focus. That this devil card isn't as important as I often make it out to be. Nevertheless, if it's happening to you, I'm sure during August it will predominate your thinking. But I've got the feeling it's like so many things that are seemingly negative. Including, for example, black magic, And that is, when it's over, or when you find a solution, it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't much, was it? Just something that you learnt about, Whereas at the time, you might be completely gripped in fear. In fact, I think fear is the right word, operative word. Anyway, we will return to it. The overall energy is one of love. Well, love would certainly conquer fear. Overall energy is one of love, being quite sophisticated with that. And you have indeed gone off in search for love, You're a very loving person. Right now you've got something to celebrate. Celebrate with family and friends, not sure what it is. You're going to emerge out of August, the divine feminine. In tune with nature, enjoys the good things in life. On this particular rendering, she looks pregnant, and it could mean sort of pregnancy or the birth of something new. Now that's the future. As I say, the energy that leads to the outcome is that of the devil, and whilst my attention is drawn to it, I've just got the feeling it's not so important. The alternative to the devil, what would change things, is conflict. Why on earth? And it's probably a minor conflict, which as I say, I think the devil is quite minor. But this is a sort of conflict, if only you could sit down and talk about it, it probably would go away. But how does that differ from the devil energy? I don't know. That's a quandary. And the outcome is a sort of, seen it all before, this has happened before, got on with my life and dealt with it type of energy. So, is that why I'm downplaying this devil? I don't know. Let's look at each card individually for you, Pisces. Now, the overall energy is that of the King of Cups. Now, he is the King of Love. Does this mean this reading's about love? Well, it could be. I don't feel that it is. That's not the impression I've got from it. A love in its sort of broader sense, filling your heart full of love, maybe. Love being a way of dealing with situations, probably. But he's also a somewhat sophisticated, compassionate type. And I think that's more what we should be looking at. Emotionally balanced, diplomatic. I think that's more what it's about. And I think this reading is about you understanding your emotions. Recognising that there's all sorts going on in the world, all sorts that's negative, but how to steer your path through that, Pisces. That's the candid feeling I have about it. Now, in the past, we have the Knight of Cups. So having said that, the King of Cups, I don't think is actually about relationships. I'm not certain that this Knight of Cups is, but it's much more likely to be. A wonderful, wonderful knight, lovely knight, was his, and in this case the rendering is a she, heart on their sleeve. Sort of knight that writes poetry, you know, or gives flowers to everyone. Gets taken for a ride a bit, you know, loves everyone and everyone loves her, but as a result does pick up some of the wrong sort of people, you know, gets hurt rather easily, gets exploited. But again, and rather like the King, the feeling I'm getting from this is it's more about character, your character, than events. And I don't want to stop you being like this. I mean, if you move from the Knight to the King, then you've definitely learned something and gone in sophistication. And at this moment in time, that's all I want to take from this energy. And right now we have a reason to celebrate, a joyous occasion with family and friends. Now just a year ago probably, if I'd had these three cards that we've shown so far, in these positions, I'd say definitely you've met a new love and you're getting married. And you know, it's possible. But that isn't what I feel about this at all. It could well be related to this love. It could well be related. I just don't feel it's just a single relationship, though. It could be related to the fact that you have so much joy that you wish to celebrate with family and friends. It could be an occasion like a marriage, a christening, an engagement, you know. Maybe not even yours, but it's just an occasion to celebrate. Do you know, I there might be a reason for it, but I think the energy we should be taking is just an energy of joy. You know, just as the other energies were about your heart being full of love, this is an energy of celebration and joy. And I just feel that this entire reading is about your emotions. Now, in life, you know, if we have a particular belief, we will always find evidence to support our belief, and tarot is no different. So having said that this reading is very much about your emotions, we now have the Empress, the Divine Feminine, somebody who understands her emotions and the emotions of others. This is just confirming my bias properly, isn't it? This is in the future. The other things I'd say about are very in touch with nature. Somebody that enjoys the good things in life but wishes to share them with others. And on this particular rendering looks pregnant. That could be metaphoric, could be birth to something new. But, you know, going back to what I've already felt, we've got that King of Cups, who is somebody who is in control of his emotions. And now it leads to the Empress, somebody who very much understands her emotions and those of others. So I do feel that this is, I'm not going to call it an emotional roller coaster, although it might feel a bit like that. But it's a bombardment of emotions during August, and you will come out of it much more emotionally mature, I believe. I suppose, and I said it in the introduction, but the energy that's throwing me is this of the devil here. Because the devil leads to the outcome. Now, the devil, I'd say, is normally unhealthy attachments. And of course, there has been the suggestion that this is about love, so it could be an unhealthy attachment towards somebody. I mean, that would be the most logical explanation for all this. But somehow I just don't feel it is. Somehow I don't feel it is. Again, I think it's all about your emotions. I think this devil is an energy about fear. Now, fear we'd normally associate with the moon card. But to a certain degree, the moon card is sort of fear of the unknown. And this could be fear for the sake of fear. If you look at what is called the news, it's just pure fear porn, isn't it, these days? Most goods and services are now sold on fear. We're just bundles of fear. I think that's what this represents. I honestly do. We might even be addicted to fear because, this is about unhealthy attachments. But no, I think it's the fear that's the important thing here. Yeah. Now, if the devil leads to the outcome, what would change the outcome is a conflict. Why is there so much conflict in the world now? Well, look at this platform. Every time I post, then I get somebody attacking me, often using a blatantly dishonest information. Now, I don't think they think their information is dishonest. But, there is so much manipulative information out there, and this is having a dramatic effect on people. People have been turned into tribes and are full of hatred for what they see as the opposing tribes. So there was a recent example, somebody that I've got a lot of time for, really, but he's a bit of a, well, he's taken in by the Christian right from the US, and he posted something. I'm not going to say what it is, or I'll give away who he is and what it's about, but he posted something that was blatantly untrue. And finding out that it was untrue was just a click away using Google. So I pointed it out. I pointed out what the true facts were, and I'm always very, very even-handed, there's always an element of truth in such things, but somebody just accused me of purposeful manipulation and that I was evil as a result, And that's how the world is now, isn't it? And this is a conflict that comes up. It's one that's probably easily resolvable. Whether or not you can easily resolve it, I don't know. But as a result of this conflict, the trajectory changes. So we've got what I think is fear on the one hand, leading to one outcome, and we've got conflict leading to another. So I think it is, if you get wrapped up in a conflict, if you get wrapped up in tribalism as opposed to fear, and these are very, very related, this tribalism definitely comes from fear. But, you know, if you get very wrapped up in sort of an individual conflict, it changes everything. Now, I introduced this Nine of Wands as being a sort of, yeah, been there before, seen it before, I know how to deal with it. And it can mean that, but it also can mean a test of faith and boundaries. And I think that's what we should read into it. There's awful lot of tests of faith, tests of our boundaries, tests of, well, just tests of us going on at the moment. I'm going to have to issue a vlog on what's been going on with me, but it's major, it's massive, you know. And it's a bit like I said about the devil energy. And that is, when it's over, I'll say, well, what was that? That wasn't much, was it? It was simple, you know. But what I'm going through at the moment is you know, it feels colossal. And I think that's at the heart of this reading. There are these things hitting our feelings, our emotions, our psychology, that feel dramatic, that feel like they're so important, but really they're not. And that's why we'll emerge as this empress, having mastered them, having understood them. So I think we've got to get some clarity, because maybe I've got this all completely wrong. Get clarity on this devil card, because it is the, well, it's the card that I was immediately drawn to. It's probably the most powerful energy, or on the face of it, the most powerful energy within this reading. And what do we get? Well, the first card we get is the card of nightmares. So it is all about fear. The second card we get is one about having to take important decisions and not feeling you have all the information. And the third card is that it's about a sense of direction. So it does feel deeply psychological, doesn't it? Let's look at each individually. So yeah, the first card is one of nightmares. Worry, being kept awake at night with worry. And, you know, if you look at how products and services are sold now, they're sold on fear, you know. This is a part of limbic capitalism. We've all become addicted to products and services, and that's the whole idea of it, get us addicted. And news is now, you know, it's just another of those products and services. It's not an objective you know, description of what's going on in the world. And fear sells our consumption of news. And the news itself is manipulated by people wanting to sell that fear as well, you know. So no wonder, and you know, then there's our mobile phones going off, and you know, we're no longer able to focus on what we need to focus on. We're no longer able to get a good night's sleep. And I'm sure that's what this is telling us. And remember that we're clarifying the Devil card, and that is, this clarification is that there's a decision that we're finding difficult to make. And you know, is this fear all about preventing us from taking decisions in our life? Clouding our brain that, you know, maybe the clouding isn't even about, well, they both seem equally good or equally bad, but that we have to take a decision in the first place. But that would keep us awake at night, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's... this devil is you. your own emotions and psychology, almost destroying the very self. Yeah. And I think I'm right. I think it is deeply psychological. And, you know, what's going on, particularly in August, across many zodiac signs, is our very beliefs are being challenged. Now, that would keep you awake at night, challenging your beliefs. You know, this is an addiction almost, isn't it? An addiction to our beliefs, addiction to our way of seeing the world. And, you know, there's so many soundboards confirming that our view of the world is right. And as I said, you know, it happens in tarot, and maybe I'm going down the wrong one here, but, you know, there's so much to confirm our beliefs, particularly when we're not looking at the alternative evidence. And we are now having our beliefs severely challenged. And I think that's what this is, that you've been so wedded to a way of seeing the world, which, you know, this devil is like an addiction, but it's about your beliefs, addicted to your own beliefs. And now they're being challenged. And that's why the conflict, yes, because the conflict would probably confirm your beliefs. Yeah. And it's all a test, isn't it? Yeah. We can summarise for you now. I think I've got there, Pisces. I don't know if you followed it all, so you're going to have to listen to the summary. Pisces, I've convinced myself that your August spread is not about events at all, but it's about emotions. And it's about a journey through your emotions, whereby you emerge much more understanding of them and understanding of those of others. You are a loving person. You are somebody that wears your heart on your sleeve. But those emotions are going to mature into something much more sophisticated. Somebody who is much more diplomatic, somebody who's in control of their emotions, that is not suppressing them at all, but understanding them. And that's what's going to happen this month. There's some room for celebration, and I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you understand that better. But all zodiac signs' belief systems are going to be challenged, severely challenged, during the month of August. In fact, we're going to have to abandon our belief systems and adopt new ones. And for you, it's the sort of knowledge that things are being challenged are keeping you awake at night with worry. Keeping you awake at night with worry. But knowing that you've got decisions to make, decisions that are going to have a major impact on your life in the future. You know, because if you are changing your beliefs, then it does have a major impact. Now, what would prevent you from reaching this, what I think is a very important change in yourself, is you get embroiled in a conflict. It's probably quite a minor conflict. It's probably a conflict based on your belief system. And that conflict, because of its nature, it actually confirms this belief system which has to change. Now, all of these things feel like they're going on right now for everybody, I would say. You know, the degree of fear there is in society, the degree of tribalism. And I make no bones about it. Some of this is being deliberately done to us to make us more compliant, to make us consume more. So some of these things are are deliberate. I'm not trying to create a sea theory here. I'm just saying that, yeah, there is behavioural programming and manipulation going on. So no wonder we're, a bag of nerves. So yeah, this tribalism could destroy you making this move, but I don't think it does. Now, yeah, there are reasons why it's happening, but I think the main reason is that we're all being tested because there is a new, better paradigm out there that we're being urged to move to. But until we cannot move to that better paradigm until we ourselves have been through this test. And that's what it is. It's a test for us. And I think you're going to come out of it the right way, Pisces.